guys, it's Tahira, and today I'm doing my April wrap-up. In the month of April, I read a total of 5 books, which is pretty standard for me in terms of my reading. And most of those books I really enjoyed, including 2 books that are now one of my favorite books of all time, which is so amazing. So April was actually a really great reading month. But yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. The first book that I finished in the month of April was Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating is about the 2 main characters, Josh and Hazel. Hazel is this very fun, cute, quirky girl, and Josh is a very much more mellow guy. Anyway, after several years, they used to know each other in college. After several years, they meet up again and they decide to set up each other up on these double dates, and these double dates would go horrible and they would actually realize that they actually spend more time with each other, and it's basically their blossoming romance. This book is so cute because just the romance and the way it comes about and the way they go from friends to lovers is just so adorable. If you want a light read, this is the one for you. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I docked 1 star is because I found myself not wanting to pick it up as much as I loved how cute it was and how light it was. I think it's because there wasn't much of a plot. It was very character focused because it focused on their relationship, Josh and Hazel as people. So yeah, I think that's the only reason why I give it a star. But if you're looking for a light contemporary with a very cute romance, this is the book for you. The next book that I read in the month of April is actually now one of my favorite books of 2019, which is so great, and that is Nevermore: The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. Nevermore follows this girl named Morgan Crow who is born on the unluckiest day of the year, so she's cursed to die on that day. So this is me editing. Anyway, I realized that that statement probably sounds so confusing because it makes it sound like she dies on the same day that she's born. But that's not true. The way it works is that in this world there's like ages where each age is probably around, I think, between 10 to 15 years long. And so the last day of this age is called Eventide, and she's born on Eventide. So she's cursed to die on the next Eventide that's supposed to come in about 10 to 15 years. So that's what I meant. Not that she's gonna die on the same day she was born. But when the day comes around, she doesn't die. She is instead taken by this man named Jupiter North to this magical land called Nevermore, this land that no one really knows about. And there she starts these trials to possibly become one of the members of this prestigious society called the Wondrous Society. This book is so cute. I love it so much. It is middle grade and I don't read a lot of middle grade, but this was just phenomenal. It is very fast paced. It's not very slow. You're always on the edge of your seat about what's gonna happen next with Morgan, and the characters are all lovable. I love them so much. I love Morgan. I love Jupiter. I love her best friend. I love Fen the cat. It's just so good, and I just really love the writing style. I love the story, and there's not a lot of middle grade that I absolutely love, but this is one of those, and it's just, I love it so much. I can't wait to pick up the second book. It's called Wondersmith, I believe, but yeah, I'm really excited to see where Morgan and her story goes. The next book that I read in the month of April was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it so much. If you did not know, 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo follows this girl named Monique, and she is an up-and-coming journalist, and she gets this opportunity to interview Evelyn. She's this old like Hollywood star and she hasn't really done interviews, but Monique is the first interview she's doing in a long time. So Monique goes to her house and Evelyn tells her her entire life story, like going through all her husbands and all her life, and it's just so good. This book was so popular last year. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was raving about it, so I finally was able to pick it up this month and I loved it so much. I actually loved it like way more than I thought I would, which is a really great surprise. Monique, one of the main characters of this book, is actually half black, and Evelyn Hugo is actually bisexual and she's Cuban, and this book also has a prominent female-female relationship in it, which is great. I think my most favorite part about this book is that Evelyn felt real. Like, in the beginning when it was talking about Evelyn's life and how she was such a big star, it felt like she was real. And when Monique went to her house and she saw that Evelyn was coming downstairs, and I felt like, oh my god, that's Evelyn. Like, as if I was meeting her for the first time, as if I was meeting an actual celebrity. I was like, oh my god, that's Evelyn. Like, as if she was real, which is so great. I think that's just amazing. But yeah, I think that it felt like she was real, and I really loved her life story. And I really loved that it wasn't about like her 7 husbands. It was more about her life story and how it like each of her 7 husbands helped her in her career. I love that no one of the 7 husbands was actually the love of her life, but it was actually Celia, who was another woman who was another prominent star during her time. But yeah, I just loved it so much. I'm currently reading Daisy Jones in the Six, and I'm loving that too. So I think Taylor Jenkins Reid is a author that I'm gonna love for a really long time. The next book that I read in the month of April was Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha. I have no idea how to pronounce that name. I'm so sorry. Girls of Paper and Fire follows this girl named Lay, who is one of the members of the paper caste, which is the lowest caste of the society in this book, and she has these golden eyes, and one day one of the king's men comes in and takes her to basically become one of the paper girls. And the paper girls are these girls who are basically sex slaves for the king, and at the end the king chooses one of them. It's really weird and disgusting and gross. I love Girls of Paper and Fire. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I really loved that it also had a female romance in it between between Lay and one of the other paper girls, Ren. And I really loved also the friendships between the paper girls. They were really there for each other, they were supporting each other, and they were helping each other get through this horrible and horrifying and terrifying time of their lives. A lot of YA fantasy books have caste systems in them, but still I really liked how Natasha went about doing it in this book. And another thing that I didn't really like was that Lay herself didn't really do anything. Like, she did stuff, but it wasn't her ideas. It was always someone else telling her what to do, and I feel like she could have been more proactive. But other than that, I really liked the writing style and the romance between Ren and Lay. Also, I'm pretty sure this world is loosely based on Malaysia, so that is really cool. And this book had a lot of diversity from different parts of Asia. It had representation for all of that, so that was really great. So yeah, overall I really enjoyed this book. Just other than the minor critiques, I really enjoyed the writing in the book overall, and I'm really excited for the second book. And the last book that I read in the month of April was The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. The Unexpected Everything, it follows this girl named Andy, and Andy's dad is a very prominent congressman, but he is recently caught under a big scandal, so she's trying to kind of distance herself from him for a little while, and she has this internship or summer program thing lined up at Johns Hopkins University, but after the scandal, they kind of withdraw her letter of recommendation, so she can't go anymore. So anyway, she gets this dog walking job, and this book is about her summer. As she spends it dog walking, she meets a new guy and her friend group overall. I recently read Since You've Been Gone, like last month, so I was kind of on a Morgan Matson contemporary roll, so I picked this one up, and I actually really enjoyed this much more than Since You've Been Gone. I think the beginning of Since You've Been Gone was really slow, but I was much more interested in the beginning of this book. Like, even though it took a tiny bit to start, I still found the beginnings of the book really eventful, much more eventful than Since You've Been Gone. Because in Since You've Been Gone, all she's doing is basically trying to find her friend and worried about her and not really doing anything because that's not her personality. But in this book, just the surrounding of the political scandal was in the beginning of the book, and her summer program. It felt more was happening than Since You've Been Gone. I like the characters much more in this too. Not that I didn't like the characters in there. I felt like the characters were much more enjoyable to read about and just more fun. There were a few cameos from characters from Since You've Been Gone in this book, so that was really fun to read about. Morgan Matson wanted to be oh, this is someone from Since You've Been Gone. So it felt like, even though both of these books are set in the same town, but the cameos almost felt forced. It was weird. I don't know. It didn't feel natural to me. It was almost like she wanted to be this is a cameo from one of the characters from Since You've Been Gone. Did you get it? Did you get it? Anyway, so yeah, I did enjoy this book much more than Since You've Been Gone, and that's what I really like about it. Yeah, but that is it for my April wrap up. Let me know down below what was your favorite book that you read in the month of April, as I would love to know. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!